That's the duper win probability percentage. It's 84% in favor of Rob Nunnery and Jessie Irvine. But as we talked about, that's on paper.
Right.
The reality is your mom is going to be out there ripping forehands and backhands. Ryan Sherry's going to be running all over the court like a wild man. So we'll see. And
it'll be a fun match.
It definitely will. And you know, with Jessie Irvine, her style is pretty controlled. But I asked her, is she going to play more aggressive inside? She said, wait and see.
Okay.
All right, guys, here we go. So right out of the gate, the first thing I noticed, your mom's starting on the left.
Right.
That's interesting. I think that's a different switch up.
Yeah.
It's great first couple points here.
That was a great point.
Ryan Sherry holding his own on that forehand dink. So no stacking, it looks like. Interesting.
Nice.
That's a good ball from Rob Nunnery. His dink is like yours. It went really deep to the back foot. We noticed that about your dinks as well. They go really deep, but they stay low. Yep. Okay. So another thing that just observing, Ryan's real jumpy and kind of like jittery and moving around all the time. Your mom, she's pretty relaxed, but over there, they're super chill over there. They're both very calm. And
I feel if I'm super calm on the court, I don't play as well. I need to be like super jumpy.
100%. I like the attack from her there on that forehand. What's different about the lighting? Is there anything different? She was talking about that.
Sometimes, like, if someone speeds it up out of the air and it's, like, kind of a floater, it's really hard to tell if it's going out or if it's staying in. So even a couple times, say in my matches, I thought the ball was going out.
And it
but
ended up dipping in?
Right. And outside, that's a little different because you can tell.
Agreed. And there's no wind condition, so a lot of times the wind might take a ball outside where it's going to stay in here. I think Ryan Sherry went for that forehand, and it didn't get enough on it. It sounded like it maybe mishit just a little.
That could also be the seeing problem here because he kind of shanked it.
For sure. You could kind of hear it. They're definitely staying away from your mom at the moment, which would make sense. You know, she's got more experience. Yeah. It's not always a gender thing.
No.
You know, you don't stay away from the guy just because he's the guy. You go at the player that's maybe less experienced or
maybe you don't go at one player, you go at their weaker shots.
The weaker shots and stuff like that. Yeah, so there's a lot more to it than just – because the reason I bring that up, Annalie, is that oftentimes there's this, like, stigma that in mixed doubles you hit away from the guy, but that's not always the case.
Especially in, like, amateurs, it's not always the
It can be flipped easily, and it might take you a game to figure that out. But you got to figure it out at some point. Nice shot there by Sherry. And one thing, I want to point this out because I did just say that they were hitting to him more.
Right.
But he's probably got a few nerves. He's probably a little nervous, but he'll settle in. He's playing well. But he does realize that they're probably hitting to him a little bit more. So that weighs on you just a little.
Does. I'm also biased in this match.
Of
so.
course, of course. And you should be.
Oh, that was a good point. I think that's what they need to do in this match is get into those
The firefights.
firefights because anything can happen in those rallies.
Agreed. Yeah, for sure. And there's your mom ripping. That's what she does best. And I think, she told me in the interview that when she's smiling and having a good time, she's playing her best. When
Right.
she's too tense, too tight, she's not going to play as well. So I feel like part of, wow, that's some great resets from Jessie Irvine.
This is a really good point.
Boy, I tell you what.
Oh, good point.
Really good resets, though, because he was attacking, full-blown attack on Jessie, and she was able to get that ball back in.
And those points, when you're the attacker, it's always like, oh, shoot, I know I'm going to lose this point. Because
Right.
they just hit 3 amazing gets.
And they get them all back, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, you almost know.
Each time you think you got to hit a better shot, but you don't. But it just goes through your mind when you're playing.
That actually resonates with me a lot because if somebody keeps getting it back, you try to do something different with it,
Right.
oftentimes forcing an error.
What I like about this underground is that you're seeing matchups that you wouldn't see in a tournament.
100%.
Which is really cool.
That's a great point, Annalie, that we wouldn't normally see some of these matchups.
No.
Also, one thing that I believe Rob Nunnery touched on, which makes sense, the Johns brothers normally have like a round or two at a tournament to get loose, get comfortable, and get going. In this, you're playing studs right out of the gate.
Right.
Deckelbar, Matt Wright, you guys playing who you played, Simone and
First,
Lucy.
yeah.
You don't get those warm-ups to really get
No.
comfortable.
And that's one thing about Championship Sunday, too. You don't have any, unless you're in another final, you don't have any matches.
So you have
And
to
it
find
Yeah, you got to really get mentally strong before you go out there.
do you find that you like that situation or that you tend to not like that?
Well, let's say I'm playing bad the first day, but somehow I make it to the final. I'm going to like it because I know I'm probably not going to have a
You'll
good
play
chance.
better
But if I'm playing really good the first day that we're
and then
playing,
you lose that
and
momentum.
then the next day you're not playing as well. That's what happened at the last tournament. Me and my mom, we were playing like the best we've ever played. We were like
and
really
then you
feeling
lost
it.
steam.
And then we lost steam the next
Ugh.
day. And I had a singles match before that, which was a 5-setter, which was also really tough.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Annalie, that's great insight. We're going to take a quick commercial break. This hydration break brought to you by Jigsaw Health. L.Waters joined in the booth with Scott Golden. We'll be back to the action in 60 seconds. All right, guys, we're back to the action. This is Scott Golden joined by L.Waters. Her mother is on the court currently, and we are seeing game one being played out here. So your mom there initiated that attack first, but it came back pretty
Right.
quick. How important is it to beat your opponent's reaction time when you speed it up first?
Well, when you speed it up first, you got to be ready for the next one coming back. But sometimes it's hard because you think you've hit a winner, you think you've hit a really good shot, and somehow they get it back, and you're really surprised.
It's almost like you're caught off guard by it.
Right, even though you speeded it up first.
Okay. So we've got game point here at 10-3-2. There she is. She's waking up right there.
There we go.
That's what you want to see. You want to see her in that groove, firing off, staying on the attack. Honestly, that's when you guys are at your best, when
Right.
both of you are firing on all cylinders.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes it so tricky about playing with somebody that you're not used
Used
to.
to.
Because you guys are so comfortable.
Especially in like a warm-up game where you don't have anything
It's
before. Like they've
so
never
different.
played together before until right now.
Exactly. But you and your mom have played so much together that it almost makes it more difficult, I think, when you have to play with someone else.
It does because me and my mom too, even though we play together a lot, we're also mother and daughter. So we have this weird
It's like
thing where we know what the other one's
Kinetic
going to do.
sense.
Yeah. Like when we play against each other in practice, we know what each other's going to do. So we're like sitting on it or something. But it just makes it a little bit more difficult.
100%. I could not agree more with that. Jessie said, "Oh God, good spin," because your mom really cut that thing.
That's another thing. Like, when you're getting the third, some people like to stay together and come up as a team, and other people like to disconnect and like go for poaching and stuff. So when you're playing with someone new, maybe they don't like the style that you have, so you have to adjust your game, which is difficult.
Very difficult in the moment, especially, because you want to do what you're good at and what you're used to. No, that makes perfect sense, and that's again why I think you and your mother have had success, is because you do know what each other's going to be doing and how to cover and.
That's also why I think switching partners every tournament is really hard, because you never get used to somebody.
All right, guys, that's a wrap for game 1, 11-4 final. Sherry and Waters are going to regroup. We're going to take a 2-minute commercial break, and I will be back with L.Waters for game 2. See you in just a minute. All right, guys, welcome back to the Margaritaville Underground Invitational presented by Duper. Leigh, say that 5 times fast. I dare you.
I don't think I could.
I
applaud you, Scott, for being able to say that.
Well, I've said it a few times, but the first time I got tongue twisted a little bit. That's a mouthful right there for sure.
It is a mouthful.
But as we go into game 2, what did you see in game 1 that they need to maybe make an adjustment, meaning L.Waters and Ryan Sherry?
Maybe speed it up a little bit more.
I like your mentality.
I think rip it, grip it, and rip it, right?
Grip it and rip it. Let's go. All right, let's see if they adopt that strategy here as we kick off game 2.
There we go.
There's the grip and rip right there.
And one thing about that is when you get in those long dinking rallies, they kind of lull you to sleep, you know? And when someone speeds it up, you're not ready.
You're not quite ready. Yeah, I noticed some games, the intensity is like every point, it's pop, pop, pop. And that keeps everybody engaged. But points like that, like you said, lull them to sleep.
Yep.
I think Ryan Sherry was going for the Durafest tattoo on Jessie. All right, so a slight advantage for Sherry and Waters.
That was really tricky. It looked like Ryan was going to speed it up, and then he dinked it.
Oh, and I think the timing of it threw Rob Nunnery off just a tad because he ended up hitting that ball a little bit long.
Another thing about this is when you hit the ball hard in here, it's so loud.
It
makes you
loud.
think that the ball is coming even harder. So you're like, the first couple points, you're super surprised. You're like, oh, wow. Like, I might have been early on that because I thought it was coming faster.
Oh, I see what you're saying. That makes sense because it's super loud and it sounds as if it's going to be fired at you.
Really hard.
When in reality, it's not much faster than it normally would be.
Right.
Oh, look at this.
Oh. We used to be known for getting the let cords, and now I feel like we never get them.
I wonder if that's a mental thing or if it literally is like...
I think we actually have, like the Nets don't like us anymore. I think that's what it is.
You guys got to pay the net gods off more or something maybe. Some players do have friendlier shots, softer, like... Not softer.
Like the way they hit it.
The
I know
way
what
they
you-
hit
yeah.
it is conducive to getting the net rolls. But it's ironic that you're saying that you guys used to get more of those, and now you feel like you don't.
Like in the last match I played, the other team, I think we counted, had like 8.
That's
and we
insane.
had 1.
That's insane.
So it's like, and sometimes the leg cords are what changes the match. Like it was 12-10, 2 leg cords.
2 leg cords makes all the difference.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
Ooh. That's the idea, though.
Yeah, right idea. Just sailed on her a little bit. And they're off to a good start. I mean, they're at 2-4 right now. They've got to hold and stay ahead here.
That's difficult, too, when you get up by a lot and then you get kind of...
A little complacent.
Yeah,
I think it happens to everybody.
I know. Especially in the games to 15.
Yes.
These are some great gets.
Yeah, nice resets by Jessie Irvine there. When she attacked that, he said no right away. He knew because I think he likes to set up on his two-handed backhand in the middle, and when she hit that, he
knew,
recognized.
yeah. I do that to myself sometimes. I'm like, no, and then I'm out.
That's a great attack. Now this is where you're going to see Ryan. He feeds off energy, and if he starts making some positive, good plays and gets some momentum for himself personally, it'll reflect in the score. But Jessie had something to say about that.
I'm the same, too. I need energy when I'm playing.
I think we've talked about that before, even off camera, that you guys feed off of that good energy and you need it to move forward. And it's a real thing. When you get momentum and you start feeling that momentum, physically it plays out on the court.
Yeah, and sometimes crowds are really into the match, and that's really good. But sometimes they can be, and you're like, come on, I need a little bit of energy here.
Sometimes the pickleball crowd, like you said, is a little docile at times.
At Nationals, it was great because the entire facility was filled with people.
And they were into it.
Energy everywhere, right.
I agree. That is the vibe I got. Guys, we're going to take a quick break. This hydration break brought to you by Jigsaw Health. L.Waters joining me for the rest of this match here in Game 2, potentially a Game 3. We'll be back in 60 seconds. Welcome back to the 2021 Margaritaville Underground Invitational presented by Duper. We are right now about, I would say, what do you think, Annalie? 5-2, about halfway, not quite halfway through Game 2. What does your mother, L.Waters, and Ryan Sherry need to do in Game 2 to continue the positive momentum that they've created?
I think they need to keep doing what they're doing and ripping the ball and staying pumped up. I think that's the key right now.
Absolutely.
That was an interesting point.
Seven 2, so they're on another little run here after that timeout.
Ooh.
So, but I like what she did there. She took it off the bounce, she attacked,
yep.
and then Ryan just missed. I mean, he had the right.
He was right there, yeah.
Yeah, he had the right shot. He just missed.
Ooh.
That's the, again, I think you can either choose to be patient or you can choose to attack. He chose to attack there. It may have been a little low for that,
yeah.
but he's staying in that aggressive mindset, which I do
Right.
like.
Because Jessie gets comfortable in, the dink rallies.
For
and
sure.
That's her strong point. So.
For sure. That's a nice location there from Ryan Sherry. I think she was leaning to the right. He goes back to the left.
There's a lot that goes into pickleball, not just making a shot. And I think some people, don't realize that.
You are spot on. Pros make it look easy like yourself, but it's not that easy.
And I think as the game evolves, it's going to be a lot of strategy. Like, strategy is the main thing.
Right.
Because people are getting too good,
Yeah, the game is evolving every time the pros step on the court. They're coming up with new serves, new returns, ways to get more creative. It's a good adjustment from Ryan Sherry. He lobbed the point before and lost it. Then he goes back to the bread and butter, which is keeping the ball at their feet.
That was a very nice shot. That looked like a tennis shot almost.
That was 100% tennis right there from Ryan Sherry. But, man, what a beautiful shot, too.
It was pretty, yeah. Whoa. Oh, my gosh. What a shot by Ryan Sherry.
Such a good shot. Rob Nunnery kind of double-checking, looking down, but ultimately give him the point. All right, so 9-4.
Oh, good point, though.
Yeah, great point. That's a good run for them.
It was,
They still have another opportunity.
One more serve going.
I believe it's
9-4-2.
9-4-2. Oh, good adjustment from Jessie to catch that.
Oh, wow.
You just don't want to get into that firefight with Jessie like that. She's going to wear you out for sure.
That's right.
And I just don't think, because he plays majority singles, I just don't think he's necessarily used to that speed coming back so much.
It's so different, the two.
So
it's like
different.
almost like a different sport.
100% agree. That's a nice two-handed shot from Ryan Sherry.
Nunnery was going into the crowd with that one.
Yeah, he was. Good. There it is. That's good patience from both of them. Your mom initiated the attack first. It pops up. Then Ryan Sherry comes in and cleans up the mess. Beautiful.
Mom's getting pumped up there.
She's starting to get excited now. Oh, the serving team called the timeout. So that's interesting. You don't always see that. But there are different reasons for timeouts. We'll talk about that when we get back. Speaking of the timeout, this timeout brought to you by Jigsaw Health. We'll be back in 60 seconds. L.Waters, Scott Golden bring you all the live action. All right, we're back to the action. L.Waters joined in the booth with myself, Scott Golden, as we see game 2 playing out here. So that looked like the same shot that Ryan Sherry hit earlier, but I don't think
it was a little lower.
It was a little bit lower and not as wide out to the.
Oh, I thought they had 10. I was like getting ready to clap.
And now it's 10-4.
That serve in here is so good.
I agree.
Wow. Oh!
Ryan Sherry.
Oh, I thought it was him.
Did he miss it?
I-
Oh,
He
he
missed
foot
it.
faulted because what he did was he did a no look when he hit the winner and he just stepped right into the. I actually, to
That
be
was
honest,
insane.
I don't know how Leigh feels about it, but I actually loved that. He actually looked at us when he hit the winner, which is a showman thing to do, but let's see if that play bites him coming out of that.
You can see the confidence now with them playing together
For sure.
after the first game.
Much different. Ryan Sherry particularly playing well
Wow.
right now. Oh, he's really feeling it.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I do. But again, that's kind of her MO. She likes that ball about the belly button. She
Yeah.
gets down low and rolls it with her backhand or forehand. So I
Yeah.
actually do like that.
That's tricky, too, when your partner's playing so well and you get a ball. You're like, I don't want to miss it.
You don't want to mess it up.
Yeah. Wow.
Good defense. Oh, that's great playing. But
Yeah, good point.
ultimately, too good from Nunnery and Irvine. And now they've brought the score to 6-10.
Maybe see a little comeback here.
You never know with pickleball. 6-10-1. Especially if Ryan Sherry cools off just a little bit. That could
Yeah.
be a game changer.
Doesn't look like it right now, though, does it?
No, he's playing excellent. Much different player from game one. Now, that ball is attackable. I think he just didn't get enough on it.
Sometimes you get too excited and you're like, oh, I finally got the shot I wanted, and then you miss it.
And then you miss it. All right, so they've closed the gap to 3
a
now.
Bit, yeah. Wow. What a point.
Good stuff, good stuff. Little conversation between Waters and Sherry. They still have a timeout, he's
I
asking.
think he just said he wanted to save it for a little later when maybe, possibly, it could be closer.
Absolutely. So that was a good idea to save that timeout for maybe a different situation. They've got game point on their paddle. Here we go.
There's that good serve.
He wants to win this game too, for sure. Nice
Absolutely.
communication.
The famous commentary. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
You played awesome.
Nice cross-court battle going on.
Oh.
It's the right
It
idea,
is the right idea.
but the ball's just a little too low. He's having to lift, I think, a little too much to get that ball up and
Maybe a
over.
little off-speed roller would have been good there.
For sure. You're very good at that shot.
Thank you. When the players get so good, you think you have to hit the ball so hard. But sometimes, like, the off-speed rollers are just as good.
Agreed. There's a nice lob there from Ryan Sherry, pushing him off the line. Oh, good hustle play. Good hustle play.
Ryan looked like he was toying with him at that point.
He really is dialed in because you can tell he's doing exactly what he wants to
Yep.
do with the ball, and it's the sign of ultra confidence.
I think his singles game is a lot like that too. Like when he gets confident, it's really hard to
He's-
beat him.
Yeah, he's beat some of the best names in the game. when he gets that momentum. He's really, I mean, I'm impressed. He's playing very well. But see, talk about this because they've been, I mean, Ryan's sweating through that gray shirt.
I
It looks
know.
dark gray now. He's been seeing most of the action. What is it like when you're the one not getting hit to and then you have to be ready at every
It's
moment?
good and bad at the same time because you feel like, okay, I must be playing well if they're not hitting me the ball, but at the same time, you're not getting the practice of
You don't
hitting
get that
each
rhythm.
ball. Right.
Right,
You
so
don't
the
get
rhythm's
rhythm.
off a little is what you're saying?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
All right, guys, this is Scott Golden and L.Waters. We are going to be back in just a minute after this hydration break brought to you by Jigsaw Health. All right, everybody, we're back with a score of 8-10-2.
I think so, yes.
So we got to see if Waters and Sherry can fend off this momentum run.
We need 1 point. I'm saying we, I mean they do. I'm just so used to being on her team.
Well, technically you are on her team as
Right.
well.
True that.
All right, so you weren't totally incorrect on saying that. And you guys do need, as a team, to win this game. But so does Team B, or Team A. And now it's 9-10.
Oh, nice return. Oh. I've lost match. I think I've lost one match, a really close match, by missing a return.
Oh, that's always a heartbreaker.
Yeah.
All right, so we're tied up.
I'm sure all the players right now are feeling tight and nervous.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm nervous for both
I
teams.
know, right?
Oh, that's a good recovery.
Oh.
He dropped his paddle because he knew he had it. He had the winning shot on his paddle. Not the winning shot, but the
Side out.
the side out shot.
It's getting
That's
tense
also
in this match.
very intense. I'm like this right
I
now.
know.
All right, so we've got another timeout at 11-10-2. I'm not sure if that was the serving side or the receiving side, but either way, Annalie, we're going to take a 60-second timeout brought to you by Jigsaw Health. Enjoy these commercials as they are newly released. All right, we're back to the action after that Jigsaw Health hydration break. It's now 11-10-2. The tide has turned. That's a good shot.
Yeah.
So I was noticing, I have a great view of Ryan Cherry's face right there. He breathes out a lot.
I
Like
think that's a tennis thing
it's
too.
got to be, he's trying to relax his body, I think, right there. It seemed to work there. Maybe he didn't breathe as much on that shot as it hit the back wall.
You'd almost rather see him miss that than like a easy shot in the net, you know?
Yeah, for sure. And unfortunately, they weren't able to get anything going on that offensive series. Now they've got to fend off 2 game points and match points here. And there it is, 12-10 in the second. So they are able to win that in 2, meaning Jessie Irvine and Rob Nunnery. I've got L.Waters joining me, but you are going to be up next on the court. So I'm going to let you do your thing and go get warmed up. Guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back for round 4 coming up soon.